the Italian Football Podcast.
Right, final question comes from, I got my notes here, comes from Anthony Sormani, who says, "Hi guys, great work on the pod as always. I thank you for the beautiful interviews you shared with Sven-Goran Eriksson. It was like a mini documentary on his career, a great guy who will be sorely missed. My question for the pod is, who have been the winners and losers of the transfer window for you guys?" Well, first of all, thank you so much. And yeah, yesterday was an intense day emotionally, or Monday, I should say. And it felt good to be able to at least, document, put out what we did with him. And he was, again, Sven was, it was our second ever episode of the Italian Football Podcast. He was our very first guest. And he was just very, very kind and gracious. And he came on twice, and it was lovely memories and lovely interviews. And it feels good to have been able to document his illustrious career.
Yeah, for sure. That first interview we did with him, especially, is an interview I will cherish. It was one of the favourite interviews I've ever done. It was. I remember just when we were sat down talking to him, and just like it was like such a pleasure listening to him telling these stories, these incredible stories about his career. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I would definitely advise all of you that haven't listened to those interviews that it's on our. It's on all our platforms, but you can get it on YouTube.
Made it free.
Yeah,
we
get it on YouTube.
Put them both together. Yeah. We edit them together. There's a beginning intro where I do like a eulogy, and then there's the first interview, and then there's the second interview, and we put them all together, and they're all up on any platform for everyone to listen to.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, winners and losers of the transfer market. Well, we're recording this on Wednesday afternoon, so there's still 2 days left before the transfer window closes. So some of this could change slightly, but I think we've got a rough overview of who the winners and losers are. I guess we could do could grade the clubs as well as well. But let's pick winners. I mean, for me, that there is one clear winner here, and that is Juventus and Cristiano Giuntoli. The two of them together. Let's combine the two together. They are huge winners in this market. I think that there were question marks a few weeks ago when everything slowed down. And we wondered, are Juventus going to be able to complete their squad and complete their team? And Giuntoli has answered that now in the last last week or so of the market. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. I think it would have been a 10 out of 10 if he'd have brought in the centre back that he intended to. In which case, Calafiori first, or the B target, Todibo. He failed to bring those in, and he was forced to go for Kalulu, which is a bit of a gamble. If he'd have got either Calafiori or Todibo, I would have given it a 10 out of 10. It would have been perfection. But I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And I mean, you look at, there's so many things. First of all, player for player, the team has been strengthened so much. I mean, the midfield is absolutely formidable now. I mean, Thuram, Douglas Luiz, Koopmeiners all brought in. When you add that they've already got Fagioli and Locatelli, already look like they're being rehabilitated to an extent by Motta. Then, he's brought in 2 new wingers, Conceição and Nico Gonzalez. And as we discuss him, we'll see if it gets completed. They're in negotiations to complete the Sancho deal. That could be done as well. I mean, if they bring in 3 wingers, with Yildiz as well, they've got 4 wingers for 2 positions. So the midfield and the wide positions are looking good. The defence is not the strongest, but I think that is a slight weakness for Juventus, the defence. But the midfield is so strong, and the way that Motta's teams play in terms of controlling the game and keeping it away from the defence, I think that will limit to an extent those weaknesses in defence. But I mean, if you look at where Juventus started, where they've come from, personnel-wise, they've improved so much, and also from a financial point of view, so far, I'm ahead of the Koopmeiners deal. They were basically even on net spend. That will now go up now. But they're also, Juventus, as we're speaking, they're going to sell Chiesa. They're also offloading a few other players as well. So by the end of the market, Juventus actually won't have spent that much money, and they've improved the squad that much. And also, if you look at the accounts, they've cut the salary bill. They've got so many expensive earners off their books. The likes of Alexandro, Szczesny, Chiesa. There's some other names that I'm forgetting as well. So he's done an incredible job, both from a financial point of view and sport. And of course, Thiago Motta, probably could be the best signing of all. So that's my winner.
I have I have Juventus and Atalanta and Inter as winners. Like 1, 2, 3. Because I look at it, my rating is, I give a rating for players in, I give a rating for players out, and then divided by 2, and that's the sum I give them. I think Juventus players in is a 9. The only reason I don't give them a 10 is because of the debacle with the central defender. As for players out, it's a 5. It's poor. You get 13 million for Federico Chiesa. You couldn't sell Weston McKennie. I mean, these you had to give him a contract extension. You couldn't sell Wojciech Szczesny, and he instead decided to hang up his boots. It's just, it's not good. So 9 plus 5 divided by 2, that gives you a 7. 9 plus 5 equals 14 divided by 2. That's a 7. For Atalanta, I give them a 6.5. Players in are not as good as the players out, but they literally could not have done any better given the situation they've been in. They find themselves in. It's truly it's unfair, and it pisses me off. But I really think they couldn't have done a better job, because they did not want to be in this situation, but they had to do it, and they couldn't have done it better. So 6.5. Players in, I'd say 7. Players out, like losing in and out, I'd say 7 and 6 together. It's 13. That's 6.5. Inter, I give so far an overall a 6, because you also have to look at who did those players replace. Is Taremi better than Alexis Sanchez today? Absolutely. Is Martinez better than Audero? No doubt. Is Zielinski better than Sensi and Klaassen? Undoubtedly. And then you have to look at, if Thomas Palacios comes in, they got to shore up a youngster for the future, similar to the Bisek. He's very highly rated. I give him a 6. I think players in, maybe 6. Yeah, 6. Players out, 6, because they weren't able to sell any of them. Many of them were just free transfers and loans that ended. So somewhere there, 6 is what I would give them. Those are my winners and losers so far, with reservation for the end.
Winners, yeah. Losers. Well, for losers, I've got a few for losers. Bologna are the big losers, of course. Lost Thiago Motta, their coach. Lost Joshua Zirkzee. Lost Calafiori. Lost Selemakers. 3 of their 2 best players, and then one of their other key players. And then of course when you add to that the ACL injury to Ferguson as well. I mean, they've been absolutely gutted. The players that they've brought in at Bologna are, they're not bad, but they're way off the quality of the players that they've lost. And one of the players that they brought in, Cambiaghi's done his ACL and he's out for the season. The Dalinga, Ehrlich, Pobega, Ealing Jr., Holm, Miranda, decent to good players, these, but way off the quality. So they've downgraded massively. So that is the epitome of a loser. Monza as well, I have as a loser. They've lost Colpani, Di Gregorio, Carboni, three talented players. And again, the players they brought in are weaker. Sensi, but we know he's going to be injured a lot. He's a good player. Maldini stepped up a little bit, obviously some doubts on Nesta as well as the coach. Torino lost, I have as a loser as well. They've lost their entire defence. Lost Buongiorno, their best player. Lost Bellanova, of course. And they've not really replaced these guys, to be honest with you. Obviously, again, not to the same quality. They've had a good start to the season, but it's only 2 games, and I think they've also rode their luck in those games as well. So It's a long season ahead for Torino and player. In terms of player, they'll be fine. I'm not saying they're going to get relegated, but I think that they definitely the quality of the team and the squad has gone down quite a bit. And then Genoa lost Retegui and Gudmundsson. Again, if you're looking at the quality of the team, the players, they've definitely downgraded, losing those two. Probably their two best players. So they've lost them. And again, the players they've brought in not of the same quality. Keeping Gilardino though was good. And again, they've had a good start to the season. They'll be fine. They're not going to get relegated or anything. But I think it's a disappointment for the fans.
I've got nothing else to add to that. The only thing I wanted to add is Milan. I have them as
let's
sixth.
let's go through the rest of the other big teams.
Yeah,
So
I just wanted to say I have Milan and Inter shared third.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Milan.
What grade did you give for Inter? Remind me.
6.
So you would give Milan a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I would. I think.
Okay.
I think that because I'm expecting them to bring in Tammy Abraham and I'm expecting them to bring in Adrien Rabiot. I think Adrien Rabiot addresses issues that this Milan team has. You know how much I rate him. I think he's a very tactically intelligent player if he's used properly. I think he's in both phases. He provides balance that I think this Milan team needs. And I think Tammy Abraham, who's not by any stretch of the imagination a prolific goal scorer, but what he is someone who never stops running, creating space for other people, and a poor man's Morata. That creates space for Pulisic, for Leao, for others to score. So I think that it's an intelligent. I think these are intelligent signings if you look at what they want to do with Fonseca, if that makes sense. If they bring him in, so I think not. It would have been if they had gotten Zirkzee, I would have given him much higher.
I think it's a difficult one to rate Milan because again we have to see how they end the market. But I think that there's good and bad. Like there's players they brought in that could give us cause for optimism if they realised kind of the potential they've got. So I'm looking at Pavlovic, I'm looking at Fofana, and even though he's 31, going to turn 32, Morata, I do think that he can bring a lot to the team. But then there's also some signings which kind of like, I'm really
Emerson Royale,
like Emerson Royale and Abraham coming off an ACL, barely played since coming back from his ACL. That doesn't give me lots of optimism, to be honest. And Rabiot coming in. I mean, I think he's a free agent. Okay, he's on a big salary. Yeah, I think he's a good player, but I've never been the biggest Rabiot fan. He's not my kind of.
On that.
He's not my kind of player. He's just not my kind.
I think he's a useful player. My thing with Rabiot is he's useful if used correctly. I thought he was useful. I think he's been useful for France. I think he's been useful for Juve, PSG.
Yeah.
He's not a sexy name, but if you use him properly, I think he's very intelligent on the pitch.
I think he's useful. I think that's a good way of describing him, but I don't know whether useful wins you titles. That's the issue.
His CV shows that you do.
Well, really, at Juventus he won the title in his first season, but he wasn't an important player. He was just a bit, just a rotation player in his first season, and then it's been a disaster for Juventus in his last season. I don't think winning with PSG counts for anything because of PSG. So I don't know. I don't think you can really build a team. I don't think he makes Milan seriously strong. But we'll see. So Milan, yeah. So what would I give Milan? I'd probably give them a 6.
That's why I give him
which I don't think is good and I don't think is bad. I think it's just okay. But then of course we do have to factor in the coach as well. Fonseca, of whom there's very very big question marks over. So could bring that down. Napoli. What do you give Napoli out of 10?
Ooh,
this is a difficult one for me as well.
This is so difficult because it's not done yet. Because I think a lot of it hinges on Osimhen. Now he's got Lukaku and Osimhen, and they need to sort that out. But if Osimhen were to leave for 60, 70 million or however much it is, and you look at how useful those players are, and I think Buongiorno is potentially one of the signings of the season. I think it's a fantastically smart signing. That is exactly what they need. And he will work perfectly under Antonio Conte. And I think we might be here talking, like I said, I think we will be talking about Buongiorno as one of the best defenders in Europe in about 9 months' time, because Conte is going to turn him into that. So that's one aspect of it. And then I look at what other players they brought in, and I look at, so somewhere 5.5, 6. I mean, Antonio Conte is also a new signing. I think together with Thiago Motta, that's the appointment, that's the coaching coup of the season potentially, right? So somewhere 6.5. But I think I want a little asterisk next to all of these. I want to wait and see the last week, see what happens. But somewhere there, 6.5. Because again, I look at what the player comes in is intended to do, right? Lukaku is not going to be the goal scorer. Lukaku is going to help Kricha score. I think he's going to win the ball high up for Kricha to attack the space. And so Kricha has to score a lot. I think he's going to be the main goal scorer. Lukaku is going to be important in the build-up phase. I think they're going to be in the title race, like I said, 3-horse race, Inter Milan, Inter Juve, Napoli. And I think someone like Spinazzola is going to be very useful. Mazzocchi is almost like a new signing. He just won the lottery with Conte coming to Napoli. So I think the rest of the players work in that system. So all in all, I'd say 6.5, somewhere there.
Yeah, I'd probably go, if we're discounting Conte from the equation, I'd probably say 6 at most, maybe 5.5. If we're including Conte, then 6.5 probably, because I think Conte is a great signing. But other than Buongiorno, I'm not impressed by the rest of the market. I mean, Lukaku, I think, will do a job, but obviously he's replacing Osimhen, who I think is a superior player to Lukaku, and then the other signings just don't impress me. Like McTominay, Gilmore. If these two guys come in, I think McTominay definitely will. He's having his medical as we speak. Neres, I think the money being spent, I don't think was befitting of where I see a team that wants to challenge for, major
I think
titles.
Rafa Marin could be a good signing.
I don't know how much you've seen of him, but I haven't seen much of him to make
I think he could potentially be a good signing. I think the fact that, I'm surprised they sent Nathan on loan. I thought he was going to be given a chance. Look, I think, I do think that I think Rafa Marin is like, not just Rafa Marin, but the players that they're bringing in. Does McTominay work in a Conte system? Yes, absolutely. That's the role he's going to fill in. Again, that's what I look at. Buongiorno, as I said, I think Neres is going to be very useful for them when they play a 3-4-2-1 with Hvicha and Neres on either wing of Lukaku. Raspadori, people have forgotten about him. I think he's going to have a renaissance under Conte as well. I think, again, Spinazzola works for him. No, I think they've brought in what he needs to do to build something. Okay. And I think these players all work in the Conte system. So more than the quality of players comparing them, you also have to look at, like I said, do they replace, like I said, with Inter? I look at who they replaced, and then I also look at if they fit the system. And I think someone, and these players that come in, I think fit the coach's system more as well. I think there's many parameters to take into consideration.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of rate it on.
Yeah.
So I have Napoli, Milan, Inter in the same area. Juventus, Atalanta clear ahead of everyone else, but Milan, Napoli, Inter in the same kind of.
Okay, well, talking about fit in the system, this is probably the biggest concern with Roma. So, what do you give Roma's rate? What would you give Roma's market? I mean, they brought in Dobbik, Sule, Dal, Lefay, Abdul Hamid. Obviously, kept Dybala, Sangare. They've lost Kumbula, Sulbakken, Belotti, Awar.
I think the players they've sold has been good.
Bove might leave as well. Abraham might leave as well.
Yeah, I think they've done well to sell. And I think if Salamakers comes in, that'll be good for them too. Because I think he actually works on the wide. I mean, now they have wingers.
Yeah, they need something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually think they're doing a decent job. And I mean, Kevin, what's his name? Kevin Danso. I mean, I'm looking at it now. Dovbik, Sule, Lefe, Angelino, Dahl, Abdul Hamid, Matthew Ryan, Kevin Danso, Salamakers. That's a decent. That's decent for Roma. So somewhere 6.5, 6 probably is where
I'm giving it a 6 purely because I don't see for everything that I've said so many times over the last few days. I don't want to repeat myself over and over again. I just want to see how De Rossi can possibly get this into a working team. The lack of pace, the lack of width, in particular, in this team. Salamakers, I think, will address that a little bit, but yeah, Roma are lacking wide players, I think.
Yeah.
So I would say 6 at most. 6 at most, maybe 5.5. Let's do Lazio.
I think they've had a good market. I really do. I think they've had a decent market. It kind of depends. I'm seeing them interested in Fazzini from Empoli, Foloruncio. These are
So
players.
far, they brought in Dia, Castrovilli, Nuno Tavares, Bashiru, Chawana, and Noslin. Those are the players they brought in. They've lost Cancellieri, Immobile, Luis Alberto, Raul Moro, Philippe Anderson, Kamada, Sepe, Marcos Antonio. There's a lot more pace in the team, and there's a lot less experience in the team. There's a lot more youth. There's a lot less age in the team. So that's the changes really in the team. But it was something that needed to be done. So I think we have to give them a little bit of leeway for that. So
we really do.
So
that's exactly what I was.
I give them a 6.
Yeah, same here. I think they needed. This is like finally they're able to build a project after basically trying to clean up after Palotta for 3 years. So I give them a little bit of leeway here. And sorry, not just Palotta. What did I say? No, Lazio. I'm talking about. Like if we look at like it's the same situation at both Rome clubs, isn't it? Like you have pretty much year zero at both clubs, and I think we both have to give them a little bit of leeway because it's not easy for Lazio or Roma with the revenue streams they have to try to rebuild in one summer when one era ends for different reasons. Of course, Roma had to clean up after Palotta. Lotito has to, the Milinkovic, Savic, Ciro Immobile era has come to an end. So I look at them kind of with similarly there. Give them both a bit of leeway and give them a 6.
Fiorentina. Let me read out who they've brought in and who they've sold. So Goodmanson, Richardson, De Gea, Kolpani, Pongracic, Keane are the players they've brought in, and the players that have gone out are Nico Gonzalez, Unzola, Milenkovic, Duncan, Castrovilli, Maxime Lopez, and the end of loans for a few players as well. So, yeah,
this isn't good.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, this is not good. It's Fiorentina fans are furious, and they have every right to be.
You think the team is weaker? Yassin Adli's coming in as well. Do you think the team's weaker this season?
Well, Amrabat is back, and it looks like he's staying.
Is he going to stay, or is he going to go to Fenerbahce? I think they're in talks. Possibly he could leave. And if they're bringing in Adli, that makes me think that maybe he is leaving.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But we'll see. We'll see with that.
I don't know. I think that I can't say they've improved by much, if at all. But they are also kind of. I mean, Richardson came in as well, like you mentioned. He's a young player, won Olympic bronze with Morocco. Look, it's an interesting one, and they're switching systems. It's a new coach. They're going to back three, playing a 3-4-2-1, and he's been very clear. I don't, David De Gea has been what? He's been on holiday for 18 months. I mean, it's a weird. I
think Goodmanson's a great signing.
Goodmanson, yeah.
Pongracic has been horrible so far.
Yeah.
Keane can be useful, but obviously we know he's not a great scorer, great finisher.
Yassin Adli, I hope,
It's a
has
difficult one,
finally.
Potentially, I don't think
Yeah,
they're any weaker, and then it depends how these players do. How they show themselves. I'm going to go 6.
no, 5.5 for me. I
Yeah.
expected more. I expected more.
Mm.
Um,
I have most of most of my teams around 6.
yeah, me too.
I think they've been neither. A lot of these have been neither good or neither bad. I see most of the teams. I don't see these big teams improving much, but I don't see them, or if at all. But I don't see them getting worse either. I think that's been kind of
The
the
theme.
theme for the big clubs. That is that they've
Yep,
all
yep.
kind of stayed the same sort of level. I would agree with you that Inter, I think, have improved a little bit the depth of the squad, not necessarily the first team, the depth. So I would say Inter have slightly improved, but the other teams I think are all about the same kind of level as they are, except for Juventus, who have obviously improved massively. Apart from that, I think the big teams have all pretty much stayed the same in
Yeah.
terms of the players. The managers, I think some have improved, are better because of their managers, like Napoli, for example.
And
So
Juve, you want to say Juve as well.
well,
Come on,
Juventus, yeah,
Steve.
but Juventus as well, but obviously Juventus, as I've already said, have improved because of the squad. And then apart from those losers, which we mentioned before, I think that's kind of been the theme of Serie A. It's a bit of a boring answer, but I think to be
But that
fair, I think that's kind of how it's been.
but that's the state of where Italian football is.
Mm,
Like, they can't improve except for if you do like Juve, which you know they've done a revolution and they've got owners that back them.
mm,
But that's that's kind of where we are. You know, Inter and Milan are owned by hedge funds. People forget that.
yeah.
Um, they're not going to invest. They're in there to make money,
Mm,
grow the brand, sell, make lots of money. So that also conditions it a lot. Roma do have an ownership who wants to invest, but they've had to clean up from the previous owner for the last 3 years.
yeah.
I mean,
That's the one thing I would say. I would just add. I've said it before about Roma. I think the fact that they've spent 100 million on players. I know it's not net, but the fact that they've spent 100 million and I don't really see them improving. They've had 100 million, even if they've sold players to make that money. It's been like, here's 100 million. Go out and buy some players, improve your team. And I don't feel like they've really improved as a result of that. And that for me, I take away half a mark for that. So I'm going to go 5.5 for Roma because of that as a result. I feel like if you're
fair enough.
going out and spending 100 million on players, I expect you to improve. And that's a disappointment for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. That's the longest Q&A pod we have ever done, I think. 2 hours. Um, so, yeah, that's all we had time for. Please do keep sending in your questions via DM on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email, but preferably via DM on Patreon. We'll be back next week for a full Monday roundup, as well as a full Mercato breakdown as well, where we know who's gone where and just quickly go through our ratings and a final Serie A prediction and much, much more. So until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Ciao, ciao.